You're looking a bit blurred. How I feel sometimes on a Sunday morning. The first wine tastings we did on Zoom, we were doing from the office because we didn't have our broadband wasn't secure enough, which meant that we got to the office, and because we were driving home, I was only tasting the wines rather than drinking them. Now we're doing them from home, of course. Herbert, you and I, about 2 hours ago, we just had a little test to make sure everything was working, and that's pretty much when I started sipping my way through some Neuland Grüner Veltliner. So actually,
I'm partially horrified, Mark. I'm partially very proud.
My bottle is sort of half empty at the moment. Only half empty, you might say. But my first understanding of Austrian wines was back in 1985, when we were shipping bulk tankers for bottling in the UK. And of course, the Austrian wine scandal erupted at that time, which caused huge sort of shockwaves throughout the wine industry in general, but particularly for Austria. And what's come out of that is, I think, a really great renaissance of Austrian wines. I mean, it's completely turned on its head. The wines from sort of Zillinger wines probably epitomize sort of what's all best about it. The first wine we're drinking tonight is the Neuland, Herbert, your Grüner Veltliner. Is it Veltliner or Veltliner?
Veltliner.
Veltliner. Good. Excellent. Cheers, everybody. Welcome
Cheers.
to the evening.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Nice to be here this evening. The most popular grape variety is, of course, Grüner Veltliner. More than 50% of the vineyards in Austria are planted with Grüner Veltliner. It's the most popular white grape variety, most popular Austrian autochthone grape variety, and it's also the most important grape variety in our winery. We are running a small family business, 16 hectares of wine in the southeastern part of the Weinviertler region. The Weinviertler region is the biggest wine growing area in Austria. It's the biggest Grüner Veltliner wine growing area in Austria, and of course in the whole world.
Because nobody else grows it.
And yeah, here we're running a 16-hectare family business. I took over the winery from my father and from my grandfather, so now the winery is in the third generation. But my father and my grandfather has worked this winery in a totally different way. It was a kind of mixed agriculture, and they worked conventional. And I took over just the wine part in 2003, and since 2006 my wife Carmen is on my side, and in 2008 we switched to organic winemaking, and finally into biodynamic winemaking.
So this is so it's 11.5% alcohol. It's 2019 vintage, so it's a young wine. It's a year old.
Yeah.
But it's got lovely fresh. It's beautifully fresh fruit, but with a certain minerality and quite a nice complexity to it. The Grüner Veltliner seems to improve with age. And this is now a year old. I mean, I hadn't tasted it until a couple of months ago, but this is now almost certainly better than it was in January when it was very fresh. And I suggest that in a year or two's time, it'll be better still. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Our kind of winemaking is made for wines with a good aging potential.
And what should we kind of be like? Mark, you mentioned like minerality, like it's going to drink better, over the next couple of years. But like, what are their like main, like, it's not a great variety that I'm familiar with. What's like main flavor profile that we should be all kind of identifying?
A Viognier is very obvious, and a Sauvignon Blanc is very obvious. This is just a lovely fresh wine. So I'm not sure if I was to taste this blind, would I be able to say, oh God, instantly, that tastes of Grüner Veltliner. I would instantly say that's a really delicious wine, and it's fresh, and I'm going to really enjoy eating it, drinking it. So what I like about it is that it's got minerality, but it doesn't have sort of a huge overpowering varietal character. So that means, in a way, it's very versatile. You can eat it, you can drink it with lots of different foods, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's one of the positive things. Grüner Veltliner, if it's made in a good way, it's never loud. It brings little peppery flavor like tobacco, spicy character, but it's never too loud. And yeah, our kind of winemaking is a kind of winemaking where we do not add anything and we do not remove anything during the whole winemaking. There is nothing added, no yeast, no enzymes, no gelatin, no sugar, no acidity, nothing.
So how do you manage just using natural yeast, so that they're just present in your clean vineyards? Is that how it works? Thank you.
For us, it's very important to get everything in balance. It's all about balance. If we have healthy soils which are in a good balance, we have healthy plants growing on these soils which are also in a good balance. And if we have well-balanced plants, well-balanced wines, we have also well-balanced grapes, and yeah, also well-balanced in taste. And if we have the chance to harvest such great grapes, we are able to do nothing in the cellar. We are just controlling the fermentation, but we don't have to do anything else. Biodynamic working means for us to be a good farmer, to work with the nature, to protect the plants and the soils against, to make the soils and the plants resistant against fungi and against diseases. Get the whole processes, the whole nature processes in a good balance.
Does it mean that your yields, you have low yields?
In the whole work in the vineyards, we are trying to bring the vines back from vegetative growing into generative growing. So the plants shall not put their power in the production of too much leaves, but in the production, not in the growing of the plants, but in the production of ripe seeds.
I've got a bottle here of the of your Radical. Jancis Robinson wrote it up, and basically I could read the whole tasting note out, but it's got 1 year in barrel and a 1 year in bottle. Lots of energy and intensity, bounces around the palate, such excitement, masterful. Drink 2020 to 2028, and this one's got 13.5% alcohol compared to the 11.5% of the Neuland. So you've got wines going from delicious, lovely Neuland at £13 a bottle, up to £35 a bottle. So how do you make the difference between those two extremes of price and quality? What's the difference?
The Radical is the very, very big brother of the Neuland. Neuland is selected from the youngest vines, and Radical is the selection from the best grapes from the oldest vines, from both types of soil, from loess soil and from limestone. Loess brings a little bit more fruit, a little bit more power, and the limestone brings this smoky minerality into the wine.
Okay.
Radical, we are also working each year with a little more skin contact, sometimes with even a little skin fermentation, but never too much. And yeah, the wine is lying on the full lees for more than 1 year. Neuland is on the lees till January, February, March. So shorter time on the lees, and that's the big differences.
Is Grüner Veltliner, Herbert, is that a very much originated in Austria, or do you know where the roots come from?
The roots come from St. Georgen in the Burgenland region. So it has Austrian roots. Austrian.
So it's very absolutely Austrian in that case. Yeah. There you go.
It is absolutely delicious. Well, I think everyone's just saying wonderful wine. Herbert's absolutely delicious. Yum, 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 yum.
Austria is not necessarily, it was probably almost certainly not on anybody's first go-to when you go to pick a wine. Austria is not necessarily there because it's not the best known. But my experience now over the last sort of 5 or 6 years is they're producing some really wonderful wines. And I'm in no doubt that, Herbert, your wines are right at the top of that sort of stride towards making Austria a really well-known wine country for quality wines. So thank you very much. I've loved seeing you tonight and enjoyed drinking your wine. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Lots of cheers.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Thanks, Herbert.
Thanks, Ian.
Good night.
Hello, Mark and Rita from the Real Wine Company here.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
And if you did, well, we hope you did, what you've got to do, you've got to like it.
Subscribe.
It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, so you just press the subscribe button, which gets more subscribers.
Like
it.
And comment.
And leave a comment or something. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.